Good day, my friends, and welcome back once again to Brotherhood of the Bat Collectibles. My name's Chris, and I'm the Batman statue collector, and I have been waiting for years for this thing to come out. This is the 1/3 scale Legendary Beast Batman. 5 portraits, absolutely insane. I've got goosebumps just even talking about it. I love this statue. It is definitely for me. Spoiler alert, guys, this is in my top 5 in the collection without a shadow of a doubt. I absolutely love the art direction. I love the cape flow. I love the paintwork, and I love the freaking bats and the great Batcave base. And of course, the storytelling base below it is even more incredible with all the villains. Jay Sia, you're a freaking genius. I love what you are doing at Legendary Beast. And if this is what you're producing right off the bat with DC, I am all in. I'm all in, baby, on everything because I am sold on this statue. And I got mine from Statue Brothers. Links are down below. But right now, let's get into the 4K HD review. Let's get to it. So I did want to show you some close-ups of the portraits here. This is the Alex Ross portrait. You can see it does have the white eyes. I know some people have kind of complained about that. I actually really like the white eyes. I don't have a problem with that at all. Let me kind of move this around so there's not as much shadow. Sorry, guys. But you can see that the texture is smooth. I just think it's great. It's got some 5 o'clock shadow there. So that looks great. Then, of course, you know, we can move on to like the unmasked portrait there as well. Gives you kind of an idea of what you're going to get. It's got really nice, shiny blue eyes. It's got the 5 o'clock shadow. The hair is nicely sculpted. Not a lot of detail to the hair, the paint-wise. And this is a portrait that I probably wouldn't use much, but gives you an idea of the portrait there. And then here's another example of another great portrait. This is kind of the one that reminds me of the life-size bust from Sideshow that I have. But you can see that this one's got a lot more detail. It looks more like a leather material, whereas the other ones are more smooth. But I love that portrait. I think that looks really good as well. And then I think this is probably my favorite portrait right here, just because it's very intimidating. He's kind of like looking down, and I think it just looks fantastic. This is the long-eared version. And then you have one identical to it, but this is the short-eared cowl. So you get basically the best of both worlds there with these portraits. So I think you can't go wrong really either way. Again, really nice paint, and I love the white eyes on these. So that's really impressive. And I'm going to move this out of the way, and then I'm going to show you just some of the detail on some of the other pieces. So this is a plastic emblem. It's very thin, so be very careful with this. Jay said if you need to heat it up for any reason, you can. If you need to move it around a little bit. This one has the gold edging on it and a little bit narrower of the ears on the top. But I love it's got that little slight bit of blue to it. It's really beautiful. And then of course you have the round emblem as well. It is a little bit concave to fit his chest. So that's a nice option. And then of course you have the black one as well. And I'll show you that on the statue. And then you also have the fist. I love this. His arm is tilted, so you can actually see that the gauntlets are tilted as well. I love that. What a great attention to anatomy. You can see some of the great detail of paint. It looks really great. Again, it looks much darker in person. And then, of course, you also have this particular one here where he's holding the cowl. Again, that looks great. The gauntlets are nice. Has that kind of that cracked leather effect, which looks really great to me. And then I also wanted to show you a couple of the other belts as well. This is the one with the more leather look. It's got the canisters on the back. I know my friend Matt Martin really liked this one a lot. You can see that it's got that really great old school leather look. And then obviously this one as well. This one reminds me a little bit more of Alex Ross. It's got the big gold buckle and more of the traditional like old school pouches, which looks really great. And you can see the difference in color. This one's a lot more like golden. This one's a lot darker brown. And the one on the statue I'll show you here in a second as well. That's a little bit more of the modern one. All right, guys, here we go. This is the Legendary Beast Studios 1/3 scale Batman We have him all set up here on the table, looking amazing. And I cannot wait to show you this in all of its 4K glory. So we're going to start with the base and work our way up. All right, so we are going to start with the base, and the base is nuts. It is absolutely fantastic. Man bat, front and center, and he looks great. He's actually a little off center, so if you look at the statue itself, he's a little off center, which I actually really like. I think this is so freaking awesome. And it's got like this, stone effect to it. As you can see, as we go around, you're going to see all of these amazing characters. So you got the Joker up front, right here, which looks fantastic and very similar to what you're going to get with the third scale Joker. You have Man Bat's arm, gripping the rock. We got Scarecrow right there, and Riddler. So this is technically my first Riddler ever in the Batcave, so I'm very excited about that. You got Ra's al Ghul, which I think he looks great. You got the the cape. He looks so good. And of course, you also have the Bat family on the back. So you most likely won't see this unless you have it rotated, but you have Alfred, and you got Nightwing and the Robins, actually just Robin and Batgirl, and then of course Batman unmasked here at the front. But that's just a beautiful, beautiful little emblem, storytelling base. You got Two-Face back here on the back side, which he looks insane. Love him. And of course Penguin as well. I mean, just look at the detail, guys. This is like Mount Rushmore for Batman villains. Looks fantastic. You got Mr. Freeze. I'm in love with this base. This is a base that just deserves for like a 360 spin. Look at the detail even on, like, you got the tubing for Mr. Freeze right there. Again, Man Bat's hand gripping into the concrete, and then of course you also have Bane here as well. So you have all the major villains, and of course that Man Bat portrait is just sick, right? Absolutely sick. And then of course, you got the rock effect. Now this base right here is one of two bases. So there's a base without the rocks, and there's a base, of course, with the rocks. And then of course you get the emblem with the like the metal grid here as well, the Batcave walkway. But I absolutely love the base on this with the bats and everything else. It's just so well done. So the rock work itself is really well sculpted. You can see the magnets were incredibly, incredibly strong. I'm blown away by those. You can also see the detail here with kind of that brushed metal and some of like the Batcave wiring in there. But it just looks great. And had absolutely no issues with mine at all. Everything was really well boxed and beautifully done. You can see it's got some color differentiation here as well. With that, you can see the rock work, but it's not just gray, but there's some white and gray areas, dark grays. And I really like this a lot. And then of course you have the bats, and I was trying to show you guys the bats on camera. It just was not having it. But here in 4K, you can see the paint, the detail. You can see the veins going on in these bats. And look at the bat portraits. They are so well done. I'm just blown away by the faces on these things. They're so much better than the Prime 1 pieces, where all of these are actually sculpted and they have really nice detail. But I just love the bats. They've got these beady eyes. They actually have teeth on the inside of the mouth. Hopefully you guys can see it. But again, just the color, like it's not just all plastic black like some of the other companies have done. I mean, look at this. Look at the detail right there. That's insane. Isn't that beautiful? And again, they're all, well, I mean, as beautiful as a bat could be, I suppose. I like bats. I actually really like bats in real life. I guess being the Batman guy, is legit, because I really do like bats. I think they're pretty cute. This one right here, this one might be maybe my only slight nitpick is that it keys into the base here. So I don't know, that maybe could have been done a little bit better maybe. but everything else is perfect. Like this keys in, this is magnetic right here. This one keys in really strongly, and then it's got a magnet onto this really strong. So it's not like the prime one where I had to super glue everything together. This is really strong. This one keys in magnetically to the base. So just very, very impressive in my opinion. And the bats, again, just, I mean, look how great that looks. And it might not be something that everybody wants, and that's what's great about being able to have the switch out base, is that you can have just the Batcave base without the rocks and without the bats if you don't want them. So again, that's just something you can choose, right? Absolutely, you can choose it. Okay, so now we're getting ready to do the body itself, of course. I'm going to try to zoom in as much as I can. There's obviously shadow in here, but this is beautifully painted. I had no paint issues on mine whatsoever. It's just everything turned out really great in my opinion. You can see that it's got kind of this black blue effect going. You can see that the top of the boots though are a shiny black. So you can definitely see that it's not 100% black all the way through it. It plays really nicely with the light. You can also see, hopefully you can see that it has like a really great cracked leather effect to it. It just looks really good in my opinion. I love the color choices here. And again, you can definitely see blue, but it appears very dark and black in person as well. I love the sculpt. I love the texturing on the body. And some people have complained about texturing. I'm somebody that digs it. I like texturing. I don't like simple, smooth statues. And so this to me is so well done. It looks like it's cloth that's been, really battle damaged and worn over time. You can see like there's little cuts and nicks and scratches. The muscle definition in the legs look really good. It doesn't look over muscular to me. And then, I mean, look at I guess you can call this kind of like the cod piece, I guess. Like it looks like, again, cracked old leather. It's got a blue tint to it. I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. And this is the modern belt that I was showing you guys earlier. I showed you the regular, the two other swap out belts rather. This is the modern belt, which I think I might go with. I also might go with that other Alex Ross with the bigger buckle. I might go with that one, but you can see that the paint looks really crisp and clean on this. Very nicely done. And then of course you also, I'm gonna start standing up here so my camera angle is gonna be a little bit different for you guys, but I want you guys to be able to see some of the detail a little bit closer. On the arm, you can see the cracked leather look again that I think looks really fantastic. Again, the pulling of the fabric on the hand. This hand is fixed, so you can't do any swap outs on this hand. He's just got the fist, but the other hand is where all the swap outs are. This one obviously is the grapple gun, which I already have on here. I'm going to kind of spin it around and see if I can get a better shot for you, a little bit better angle, because that looks really great. Lots of color. There's gray, there's black, there's dark gray, there's gold, kind of a brass look. It's really well done. And it's all sculpted into the hand, so you can't take the grapple out if anybody's interested. Of course, you have the cape. Cape is phenomenal. I love the overall art direction of the cape, the way it flows. I'm going to spin it around here so you can see the back side. Maybe we can see the details a little bit better. Again, you got the blacks, you got the blue highlights. Again, to the naked eye, it appears like a lot of black, but you definitely can see a little bit of blue as well. So this is fully sculpted. It is heavy, so you do need to make sure you have the bolt into place. I really love the cape. To me, the cape is one of the best things about this statue. The way it flows, it just gives the statue a ton of movement. The chest, I mean, let's talk about this detail here again. Look at that. I like the way it's like got the pulled, torn, like the worn out fabric. Like this is exactly what fabric does. Think of like old sweatpants or old, jerseys. Like it has that same pull to it. I don't think it's over sculpted. I think it's definitely perfect texture for me personally. Again, it might not be for you. This is the other bat emblem. You can see it's got the wider ears on this one. This is the one that I'm going to stick with 100%. I think it looks fantastic. This is very, very thin, so be very careful taking it out of the box. Be very, very careful putting it in. Be very, very careful taking it out. Okay, just a little advice. It is very thin, so be very careful, okay? But I think it looks fantastic. It hugs his chest perfectly, and it's super flat against his chest too. Hopefully that you could see that. Super flat against his chest. Okay. All right, we're going to look at portraits. This is the Alex Ross portrait. Very stoic. Some people have complained that this has the white eyes, and Alex Ross didn't have the white eyes. I know I've seen Jay say that he would paint some, but I love the white. I think the white eyes look fantastic. I just think it really pulls the statue off really well. This one, obviously, too, he's looking off to the side. As you can see, he's looking off to the side with this one, and I think it looks really good. It's just absolutely incredible statue. Again, let me kind of just try to zoom back a little bit here, stand back so you guys can get the idea of the full statue here. But I love the art direction. Again, just him looking off to the side looks fantastic. But I don't think this is my favorite portrait. We're going to keep working our way up to that. But I definitely wanted to show you this one. And now let me swap out to the next one. Okay, so here is the unmasked portrait. That would be the one next. You can see that he's looking off to the side here as well. I like that in this statue he's not just ever looking straight on. I do like that about this statue. Maybe he's looking over his shoulder, contemplating, you know. But I think it looks really great. Obviously, that's one that you would maybe want to put the cowled hand in. That might be a good choice or a good option for you to be able to do that. But I do think this portrait is good, but I like the other ones way better. I really like this portrait as well. This one is, I kind of call it the sideshow. It reminds me of the sideshow bust a little bit. This one's got a lot more detail in the cowl itself. It's got that cracked leather look, and he looks badass. He looks intimidating. This is definitely one of my favorites. I'm going to have a really hard time choosing because they all look so freaking good. But I mean, look at that. That is freaking unbelievably good. And he just looks super pissed, you know? He just looks pissed off, badass. Again, with all the bats. Looks amazing. All right, let's switch to the next portrait. I'll show you that. Okay, so here is the next portrait. This one is looking more down. So if you have it in an upper shelf, I think it looks great. This is the short-eared portrait right there. So I'm going to sit down on my chair again and kind of zoom back a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about, where he looks like he's looking down, contemplating, still very angry, but it looks so good like that, I think. So I love this sculpt, but I think I like the long-eared, I keep saying long hair, I don't know why, long-eared portrait. So I'm going to show you that right now as well so you can compare. So yeah, 100%. This is my favorite one. This is my favorite portrait. Long ears, looking down a little bit. I mean, just look at that. Look at this freaking statue, guys. It is unbelievable. I mean, just look how good this looks. Again, the bolt holds the cape on, the bolt holds the heads on, so really nice, strong. Everything seems to be really, really strong. I couldn't believe how well everything went together. It's just a phenomenal statue. Really, really phenomenal. I did also want to show you what that gold emblem looked like. So if you wanted to kind of see, it doesn't change the statue too much, but it definitely gives a little bit of pop of gold. And maybe depending on how you pair it up with, if you want to do the gold belt with that gold emblem, that might pair up really nicely together. But it definitely gives it a little bit of a pop. It's kind of like I don't know, I don't want to say sparkly, but it's definitely a shiny gold. And I think it looks good. I just prefer the straight black. I think it looks better for me. But let me show you the round emblem as well. And then here's that round emblem. You can see that it hugs the chest really nicely. It's got that curvature. And I think this is a really great look too if you want kind of that more traditional looking Batman. Again, like the yellow doesn't match the yellow here, so that would probably bother me a little bit. There is obviously a little bit of gold and different colors in this belt, so maybe it'd match a little bit. But for me, to me, just the bat, like this to me looks better overall in the statue. But you know, again, this is still great. I just don't feel like it matches the belt as much. But a lot of times in the movies and the comics, the belt doesn't always match the emblem. So again, the emblem, the whole point of that was to draw fire. That was the strongest part of his armor. So I think it still looks great. I would always use the black full emblem. I did put the unmasked portrait back on because I did want to show you what that looked like with him holding the cowl. So again, it's just an option. I like the grapple gun personally better, but that just kind of gives you an idea of what that would look like with the unmasked, with the holding the cowl. So it's a nice look, but I still feel like the cowl version is just better overall. And once again, you can have just the two fists if you don't want the grapple gun. So that's the other swap out back there. So that looks great. Overall, I mean, just look at this, guys. All right, so really quick, I want to show you inside. There is the magical bolt that holds everything together. It goes in really simply. You basically screw it in. I haven't screwed it in all the way because I wanted to show you, but basically it holds in the cape, and then it also then holds in the head sculpts really nice and easily. So that's really nice. And I do want to show you because it is a little bit hard to find. So I'm going to show you in the box exactly where you can find it. It's the top layer, and it's right in this one right there down in the lower part of that styrofoam. So I just wanted to show you where the bolt is. I do want to show you this depth-wise. So it's a pretty narrow statue. As you can see, like the cape is pretty narrow on this. Like you're not going to have a ton of depth with this piece, which is really nice. So if you have a narrow shelf, I think you're going to be okay. But let me kind of show you. So the tip of Joker's nose on the back, you can see that the whole thing goes to about, I don't know, 12, 13 inches somewhere in there. Man Bat, his head sticks out a little bit further. So if you have like a low shelf or something, you might need to adjust, but basically 15. So you're not going to need any more than 15 inches really, I think, because the base is not that deep. Of course, he is more wide, of course, with the cape and everything. But if you're concerned about the depth of the piece, I'm thinking 13 to 15 inches is all you're going to need because, again, the statue itself is very narrow. So you're not going to have to worry about that at all. So everybody, there you have it. I absolutely love this. I love the look of this statue. I am just in awe of it. I'm blown away. I think it's absolutely incredible. I love the paint applications. I love the different looks. I like that he offered so many freaking different portraits. The different swap outs are really nice. I think I'm going to stick with the grapple. I think this is the look that I'm going to stick with actually, because this is basically my favorite look. I love the storytelling base. I love the overall just badassery of it. I don't know how else to say it. It just is really cool to me. And again, I have had great experience here with Statue Brothers, so I highly recommend them. The link is down below. Use that code because it does save you money each time you order there. So you can use that code each and every time. But from top to bottom, I am just impressed. I love the overall aesthetic of the piece, and it's quickly become one of my favorites in the collection, having been here just for a few hours. Like I know it's not the shiny new thing that we always talk about, but in this case for me, it truly is something that I'm in awe of. I love the presence of it, and it makes me extremely excited for the future, the pieces that they're going to do, and I cannot freaking wait. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the Batcave. Hey guys, thank you so very much for watching today, and if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button right here on the screen and check out these two awesome videos. I think you're going to love them. And also please join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I would love to have you join in all the fun. Thank you guys so very much for watching. See you in the Batcave.